introduce our speaker today. He is such a great guy, family guy. He's a leader to so many people. He's dedicated decades in law enforcement, which he'll talk about a little bit. He signed up as a coach in December 2010, okay? So a little over 9 years. He's achieved the level of 8-star diamond. He's been an elite coach twice now. He's been 90 months in Success Club consecutively, every single month, 90 months, huge. All this while holding down a full-time job. A lot of you asked, I brought it to you, which is a coach who's holding down a full-time job while coaching on the side hustle. So from Katona, New York, and yesterday was his birthday. So please welcome everybody, David Atkins.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. And holy cow, the rank advancements just get me more fired up, which is probably, it's just amazing. Holy cow. Congratulations on 15 star. You rock, girl. Totally. And thank you for having me on the call. Hello, Team Beachbody.
I can't believe that you took the day off for this. So this is very, very special.
I appreciate it.
Glad to have you on the call. And you started in December 2010. So why don't you share with everyone on the call what brought you to Beachbody, what motivated you to become a coach?
Oh, thank you, Sandy. Absolutely. So back in 2010, and just to paint the background, I'm a father of 3 daughters, ages 13, 11, and an almost 8-year-old. But back in 2010, my kids were even younger. I had 2 younger daughters. I work full-time with the New York State Police, the state troopers here in New York. Today, I am a captain with the state police, and I still work that full-time. I overlook all state police operations for the entire county. It's about 120 state police personnel, troopers, sergeants, lieutenants, a whole 911 dispatch center that gets a few 100,000 calls a year. So I get the busy lifestyle, but to take you back, which we'll get into that a little bit with some truth bombs. But to take you back to 2010, I was an investigator, which is our like detectives. And back then I was the gym guy. Like I would go to the gym 3 to 4 days a week. And that's what I did. And that's what I thought I needed to do. And I could tell you, I still would be able to go to the gym. So this isn't like a knock at a gym, but what happened was life happened. And having 2 little kids, because my daughter, my oldest daughter, if we go back 9 years, that she's 13 now, you go back to that time frame, she was younger. I had a newborn. I was on high blood pressure medications. I was about 25 pounds overweight. And I was a guy that ran New York City Marathon twice. So like I was into fitness, but I didn't realize that I was kind of accepting life for where it was, not leading life to where I want to go, which is today I realize the life of intentionality is not accepting where I am, but leading to where I want to go. So the story with me on how I got involved in Beachbody, and I'm going to try to keep it short, is a coworker of mine is like, hey, you need to do this P90X program. And I'm like, I am not doing some at-home workout program. I go to the gym. I don't need that. I'm a runner. I ran the marathon. I don't need that. And he was on me to the point where I had the DVDs on my desk collecting dust for months. But what happened was him and I got sent to Houston, Texas to look for a witness of a homicide case. We had a case in New York, and this person that we had to interview fled to the state of Texas. So him and I got assigned to fly out to Houston, Texas. And we flew out there and we found the person we wanted to interview. We interviewed her, and we were done with the day a little early. And I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a New York Mets fan, for those that are in New York. And I said, hey, let's go to the Houston Astros baseball game. We have a little bit of time. And my buddy, who was trying to get me to do P90X, said, I will go to the Houston Astros baseball game, but you need to do Ab Ripper X from P90X. And for those of you that know it, 16 minutes of like torture killer abs. So I reluctantly, I'll admit, I was that male that was reluctant, probably let my ego get in the way, going, fine, I'll do this workout. We went back to the hotel room and it destroyed me. I couldn't keep up. The next day I could barely move or rotate my core. I was so sore. And I was like, holy cow, I think there's something, now I'm onto something. So again, I decided to commit and do P90X with a little resistance on my own, I'll be honest. And in 90 days, my weight dropped. And then I said, I'm going to do this again. So I started incorporating eating healthy every single day, drinking my Shakeology every single day. And from there, I dropped the 25 pounds. I no longer was on high blood pressure medications, and I started feeling like $1,000,000. And the very natural process for me, what happened was people were like, David, what are you doing? And I would literally, at this point, I signed up to be a coach for the discount on my Shakeology, all right? So I was that discount coach, but I literally would send people to beachbody.com because I would be like, I don't know, I'm just a discount coach, or I didn't even know there was a business opportunity is the better way to put it. So I would just send them to beachbody.com. And this went on for like a good year or more as a coach. And I finally started seeing some, recognition. I started seeing these Super Saturday events, which are now Super Weekend. And I started paying a little more attention to it. And I started like dabbling in the business. And at that time, Kristen and I, my wife, Kristen, we were, living paycheck to paycheck. Kristen was a school teacher teaching elementary education. She had her master's degree plus 60 credits. We had small children. We're getting in great shape. She started joining me to work out, but we were stressed out and strung out when it came to like the financial side of things. And I started looking at this business a little closer, and I finally went to Summit, and we're all about Summit, right? But I went to Summit and I had a huge light bulb aha moment. I will never forget. It was a speech that Tommy Migrant did, who I'm always grateful for, and it woke me up. And I remember sitting Kristen down and saying, listen, I think this business can change our life. Like, I think this can get us out of where we are. Not only has it helped us physically, but I really think it could help us financially. So in the 2 years, we went all in, and I'm going to talk about my inviting system today, but we went all in. And in like 2 years, while both of us are working full time, while having 3 kids, and being busy and all our kids and activities, trust me, I get it. Like my 3 daughters, soccer and dance competition team and softball that I coach. My middle daughter plays travel ice hockey. We're on the ice rink 4 to 5 days a week, like 9 months a year, traveling to different states. I get the busy, but in 2 years of just putting my head down and doing some of the things I'm going to teach you, we paid off the $100,000 in debt in 2 years. Insert income disclaimer here, guys. Put in the bottom, income disclaimer. We built a business that eventually outgrew what Kristen was making as a school teacher. And we were fortunate that 3.5 years ago, we retired Kristen to come home to be a full-time coach, to be with our 3 daughters, because she did not have as many years in as a teacher as I did with the state police. So I have now worked with the state police for just over 20 years, with looking in the foreseeable close future to retire as well and both be full-time coaches. But everything we built, the business that we built to where we are today, the debt we paid off, was the grind of doing it part-time, and it's just impacted our life in so many ways.
You know what I love about your story is how Tommy Migrant was an influencer for you at Summit, and people are now typing in on Facebook that you influenced them at a Super Saturday or at Summit. So now you're that motivator that has given people their light bulb moment. So I'm excited to hear you share about the system that you have created for inviting. So why don't you go on and tell them what you do?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sandy. And guys, I'm so happy. That's what fills my cup, right? And I realize that when you make every decision and choice and it's bigger than yourself, that's what this is about, right? It's just so much bigger. And thank you, because that makes me feel great hearing that. So guys, like I said, I'm busy, right? Every single day. Like today, I literally told my 2 lieutenants, like, listen, you guys don't, unless there's a dire emergency, like I am out of pocket for an hour. I took the day off to be with you guys. But this is what I realized. I'm going to be very honest. It doesn't matter who we are in this country, right? It doesn't matter if you're somebody famous, if you're a professional athlete. We all have 24 hours in a day. That's 86,400 seconds. I always tell my team this. We have 86,400 seconds in a day, but it's not about needing more time. It's about managing your time effectively. So for me, I had to make sacrifices. I had to understand that maybe I got to give up that TV show. Maybe I got to give up that softball league, because when you have the vision of what this can do for you, and guys, everybody has sight, right? Everybody has sight, but not everybody has a vision. And the last time I checked, having a vision is free. And once you literally can close your eyes and you can say, I can see myself achieving that, that's when everything will change. So for me, it came down to, I needed to come up with a system. I needed to find a way that there's no excuses, because time is an excuse. It's an excuse. Everybody's busy. We're all busy, right? Life is always going to knock us down. We can't control what happens to us, but we 100% control how we react. So I choose every day to push myself forward when it comes to how I invite. So I had to learn in the last year and a half that Instagram for me is the place where the business is being built. That is the social media platform that I needed to go to. I still have my Facebook and it still works great. And there's many people that are crushing Facebook, but I had to realize, number one, I had to adapt and overcome, right? No excuses, just adjustments, and go to Instagram. So I'm not going to get into, how I'm finding people on Instagram, but the short of that is whether it's people that are commenting on my posts, people that are commenting on my stories, people that are watching my stories, people that are sending me messages every single day, I will tell you that when it comes down to time to work my business, the first thing I had to realize is, okay, I have limited time, so I need to get organized. If you right now are watching this call and you have sticky notes all over your computer, right? I thought of myself, I have different pieces of paper. I have some stuff on my phone. I have some stuff on my computer. If you are not organized, I realized for me, I was losing business. And when I felt that I was all over the place, I literally stopped. This was a couple years ago, what I was doing. I literally stopped talking to people to get everybody organized. And I needed a system that I can put my people in a place, my prospects, that is going to tell me every single day, this is who you need to follow up with, this is who you need to connect with, this is who you need to invite. And I'm going to dive into that right now. But you need to get organized. You have to do it, whether it's electronic, paper and pen. You need to get organized, because for me, that was something that was most important. So number one is every day when I get messages that people, whether it's through my inbox or I see people that I connect with, I always look at their bio and I see if it's somebody I connect with. My brand is like, I'm a dad with 3 kids. I'm busy like everybody else. I'm involved in sports. I connect with other law enforcement officers, other firemen, other paramedics. So I look at the profile, and what I'm getting at is that you have to vet everybody out. It's kind of a law enforcement term, meaning you gotta look at everybody and say, is this my target niche? Like, I don't invite to the masses. I don't connect to the masses. But I will look at that person's profile. I will see what their responses are to me. And if it's somebody that, in fact, I'm like, I would love to have this person on my team, or I would love to, in fact, invite this person to a challenge group, I'll add them to my list. If somebody is somebody that messages me, or I want to reach out to somebody, I give a very generic message. And I want to share it with you guys. And I wrote it down here because this is my initial message to somebody I want to connect with. It says, hello, their name. So say, hello, David. Thank you for your follow. I just wanted to introduce myself. I am David, live in New York with my wife, Kristen, at Kristen Atkins Fit, and our 3 daughters. I work full-time in law enforcement here in New York. I'm a motivational speaker, and my wife and I also help people with their health and fitness goals as well. I also enjoy sharing my life live through my Instagram stories. What do you do, Dave? I want to hit on some very important things in this message and why you should be writing this down. Number 1, second sentence in my message, I'm saying, I live in New York with my wife, Kristen, and I give her Instagram handle or username. Why do I do that? Because I'll be honest, 2 reasons. Number 1 is I want them to click on my wife's page to go over there and see Kristen and see that I'm a married man, see that I'm, who my wife is, see her posting stuff with our kids. And also for the men out there, it's a way for me. I'll just be honest. Like, I talk to a lot of moms on here as well, and I want them to see my wife and see Kristen and see the relationship we have and the marriage we have. So I always use that nugget of plugging my wife so I can get a sense of a connectivity, build a better relationship, and so they can see more of my background. The next thing is, if you notice, I don't mention Beachbody anywhere. We are not, Beachbody is the vehicle for us to be successful. But the way I see it is that I'm just somebody that loves the products and wants to help other people. So I work full-time in law enforcement. I help people with their health and fitness goals. And the last thing I say is I share my life live through my Instagram stories. Why do I do that? Because then I'm telling people, go check out my stories, right? So in my initial message that I'm sending people, I'm plugging in my wife so they look at her. I'm telling them I use Instagram stories so they go look at my Instagram stories. And I'm creating momentum before I even basically start going back and forth. Now, if they reply back to me, and this is, say, somebody that followed my page, and I want to send them a welcome message. If they reply back based on what they say and me looking at their profile, if in fact it's somebody that I'm like, I like this person, I add them to my list, okay? I add them to my list. And what I do is I'm very systematic. It's funny because if I go back and look at all the people I've signed up, it will always be the same thing. I am systematic that 1 week later, I will set it to follow up with them in 1 week, okay? Now, 2 things I want to say regarding this. Number one is when I'm doing this at night, like this is all I'm doing. I'm not scrolling Facebook. My phone is upside down. I am working and I am connecting with people, inviting and follow up. This is my focus because we easily get distracted. And when you're short on time, you have to be efficient with systems. So I will then plug them in my system and I will set the follow-up for a week later. Now, some of the things, I'll be honest, I'm not looking for somebody that's a fitness guru or a bikini competitor because I realized, guys, everybody needs what we have. Everybody. Like maybe they don't know it yet, but everybody would love to feel a little healthier, have more energy, be less stressed, like feel confident in your life. I know that. So for me, if I see a dad that has kids that has no fitness on his page, like rock on. He's going on my list because that dad, I'm sure, is struggling like I was. So I add them to my list. So I don't want you to think you need to find fitness people. I don't. I need to find people that are like me. So I mark the follow-up in 1 week. 1 week later, I follow up with them and I call it a connect message, okay? And all it is I'm touching base and I say something like, hey, David, how are you? How's your family going? Did you do anything fun with your family the last weekend? And if they are somebody that maybe I see is working out a little bit, or there is something that I see that I connect with, I'll ask a question. I'll say like, how are you getting any good workouts in the last week? How are your workouts? I don't bring up the challenge group. I don't reference what I'm doing because I know it's all right now. It's all about them. Okay. And I want you to write this down. My golden rule for my team that I tell my team is you do not invite anybody for at least 2 weeks. And what I mean by that is you need to connect with them for 2 weeks. And I'm telling you that when people are like, oh my God, David, I just looked at your page. You do these fitness programs. What are they? So often you just want to like expunge on them and say everything and invite them to your challenge group. I don't do that. I plug them in my system. I say, oh, I do some workouts at home. My wife and I do them. And thank you so much. How are your workouts going? And I have that message. So 1 week after the initial message is the follow-up, my connect message, right? And then I just ask them some questions to build conversation. Then I mark in my system again, 1 week later, another follow-up, okay? And that follow-up a week later is my invite. So now this is at least my third conversation, right? The initial message, my follow-up or connect message week 2, and then after 2 weeks is my third message, okay? And my message to them is this, and here is my invite. I'm giving it to the entire network. Okay, I'll say something like, hi, David, how are you? I hope you had a great week. And this is what I say. So I wanted to throw this out there. My wife, Kristen, and I are quickly penciling people in for our next 30-day fitness support and motivation group. We have a few spots left, and I wanted to invite you to do it alongside Kristen and I. I thought of you based off of our conversations. Would you like to hear more about it? David. And again, with this message, guys, there's a couple important things. Number one is I'm referencing my wife. Okay, and if you are somebody that says, you know what, my husband, he's not supportive, that's okay. You have to leverage with where you are. But for the married people, if your spouse has social media, I found that I leverage that. I also say I don't reference Beachbody. I say our next 30-day fitness support and motivation group or accountability group, whatever you want to call it. And I kind of say, and it's a sense of urgency, we have a few spots left, and I wanted to invite you to do it alongside Kristen and I. I thought of you based off of our conversations. I get to say that because that we've been talking for 2 weeks. And I can tell you that this, to me, I don't feel icky because I built the relationship, okay? And I want to say another thing. I have found that when I talk to so many people, I don't get caught up if somebody says no. I'll tell you what happens if somebody says yes on the last part of this call, but if somebody says no, bless and release. Because if you're focused on connecting with people every single day, then when people say no, I can move on. Because I think I used to get hung up on those 2 or 3 people if they would only commit, if they'd only commit. I focus on speaking to so many people that, in fact, I don't have to worry about it. I just bless and release. Now, if they say yes, I'd like to hear more, I then take them through the 5-step invitation process, an old school 5-step invitation process. I'm not going to get into it, but it's something that still works that the network had. I made a good video on it. If people want it, comment below. I'll look and I'll drop it in the comments. But basically, step 1 is the invite. Step 2 is getting their why and their goals. Step 3 is sharing a third-party tool like the Ever Feel Like This video. Step 4 is giving the specifics of the challenge group. And step 5 is a share a card. Okay, so then I simply get into the 5-step invitation process. And if somebody says, yes, I'd like to hear more, I dig into their goals and I mark my follow-up again for 2 days later. Where people always ask, David, when do you follow up? For me, when I'm now in the thick of it about the group, I follow up every 2 days, okay? Now, I want you to understand, if you were to start this system today and you were to start connecting with new people today, you may say, David, I have nobody to invite today. You're right. But what will happen is in 2 weeks from now, you're going to be inviting people every single day and it will catch up with you. Some days I have to invite 4 people. Some days it may be 0. Other days it may be 30. It may be 40. I quickly logged in to where I track everybody. I have 24 follow-ups to do today. Some days it's less. But you will have an endless funnel of invites to constantly invite if you're willing to be diligent, if you're willing to sacrifice maybe some extra things. And for me, giving up TV, being disciplined, putting my phone down, dig into my inbox and put them in a funnel. Again, initial message, 1 week later I connect, and then 1 week later again, I do an invite.
I'm going to let you take a breath for a second because this is huge, as you would say. So you said if somebody started today, a brand new coach, and they're not going to invite anybody today, but in 2 weeks, they're going to have people to invite. What are they doing today to get to that place where they can make some connect messages?
Love it. So today, your job is to, who's liking your posts, who's watching your stories, who are some of the new followers that you're getting on Instagram or on Facebook? What are some of the people that you're connecting with and sending them an initial message like I told you guys what it was? And if it's somebody that you connect with, is your tribe, is your avatar, then add them to your list. I don't put everybody on my list, but I put the people I want. So your goal today is you need to be, finding new people. We're going to call it, right, the finds, and you need to be putting new people in every single day. So for me, like I will go through my inbox on Instagram and I'll read all the messages. And if it's somebody that I think is like me that sent me a message, I will add them to my list. You may say, I'm a new coach, David. I don't have people. No problem, right? Start with where you are with what you have, because what you have is plenty. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Start with where you are with what you have, because what you have is plenty. Take your 100 followers or 50 followers or your Facebook groups for moms and dads and see people that you connect with. They're everywhere. The people are everywhere. Connect, and if you think they're good, send them an initial message, add them to your list, and then mark the follow-up. So next Monday, you're reaching out to them to say hello and find that common bridge to talk about it. And then in 2 weeks from today, guess what? Your invites will start.
Okay, so what are you doing with the people who say no? I mean, when do you bless and release? How many times do you keep coming back to people that said no for right now, but
Right.
maybe later?
So if it's somebody, and again, everybody's different. So if it's somebody that I've had great conversation with in a couple of weeks and they say, no, not right now. Like I've had some people I'm finishing up taking the boards for law school or whatever it is. I will mark their follow-up 1 month later because I will invite from my challenge group the next month. My group's at 30 days for our team. So I will invite them another month. And then if it's still not a good time, I am pretty comfortable with trying to see, is this excuses or is there stuff going on? But after I do another follow-up in a month, if they then are like, this isn't a good time, I'm not getting anywhere, I keep them on my list, but I have it set so I don't get any follow-ups from them. And I keep them there in case they ever reach out to me, I can go back and look what we spoke about with there. So that's what I do with those people.
David, what would you say is the most important part of the invite process?
Connecting with new people right away and taking your time. Don't rush the process, trust the process. I think so often we rush into inviting people and we scare them off. And, I'd say the term, like, don't vomit on people. Like, I did that. I used to do it all the time. You get so excited, like, oh my God. And the next, you lose them, So I think for me is number one is as you're learning, try to do it online in messaging so that you're controlling the conversation. If you try to, talk right away, you may say too much. So in the beginning, find the people, right? Connect with them and be patient. Because for me to hit the Success Club all the months, it's because I just connect. I trust the process. I don't rush it. And it will come back to you. As long as you focus on them first, they say, wow, this person really cares. We're connecting. And then you do an invite. That's the big difference.
This is huge. This is so, so great. I mean, it's so simple. How many hours would you say you put in to coaching? Because you have a full-time, big job.
I would say I still am putting in 2 to 3 hours at night, or early in the morning. I find the gaps. Like my alarm goes off at 4:40. Guys, in the morning, I don't go to this right away because this is somebody else's agenda. I meditate, and then from there I work out. So now I'm primed and ready to be the best version of myself, right? And then from there, I can get in my inbox, answer some messages in the morning before work. I go to work, I'm busy, and then at night we may have sports and activities. But I'll be honest, like my family jokes, 8 o'clock comes around, it's not Game of Thrones. I don't know anything about Game of Thrones. I had no idea. I'm a Mets fan. I rarely get to watch games. Why? Because I love what I do, and this is when I dive in at time at home. And I think so often we spend time scrolling this 20 minutes, and you can get through your inbox in 20 minutes or find 5 new people. If you want it to happen, you make it a priority. And for me, I did. Otherwise, I used to do it would become an excuse. So it became a priority and I commit. But I will say, Sandy, to finish on that, on the weekends, I do unplug. And I tell that to our team. My family and my daughter is the most important. So I may see certain things, but I'm not doing any of this stuff pretty much Saturday and all of Sunday, because for us, I focus on family, but I am hustling Monday through Friday.
Awesome. Sometimes people with the limited amount of time get the most stuff done.
Right. It's so true. It's so true. So I'm focused with my hours, and I'm very intentional about how I treat my time.
Okay. This has been a very fun Monday for me. Thank you. I'm going to close the call with the last question, which is, what has coaching done for you? How rewarding has this been for you personally?
So I can say, like, that kind of gives me chills, Sandy. And I was telling you a little bit earlier, guys, this is so much bigger than a workout program. Like, this has completely changed my life. My marriage is better. I'm a better father. See, I get choked up. I'm a better husband. I have more patience. I have more confidence. I'm less stressed, because when your health is in order, excuse me, see, this is what it means to me. When your health is in order, everything around is better. You know what? And I heard Melanie Mitro say something once before. And Melanie, if you're listening, your kids don't deserve what's left of you. They deserve the best of you. And every single day I wake up and I work, because this business, when I get my exercise in and I'm eating healthy, I'm the best version of myself. I say to myself, God's gift to us is potential, and our gift back is what we do with it. And I want to go out there every day and be better for everybody else. And because of these workouts and this nutrition, and Carl is our CEO, and getting to pour into other people and help them, you can leave a legacy. And I wrote down, leaving a legacy is my goal. It's not about what it's done for me. It's about what I can do for other people and make an impact. So today, my cup is full, because like Tommy Migrant said something at Summit for me, and hearing that me speaking at events has helped other people. That is the goal. And that's why I think this is a gift. It's a gift. And every single day, put your health first, and everything else around you in your life will get better. And that's the complete package. Financially, we wouldn't have my wife home. I wouldn't be looking at retirement in the foreseeable future. We wouldn't be doing some of the vacations we're doing. We wouldn't have been able to do like this kitchen renovation that we did 2 years ago, and work we're doing on our house now. Everything has come together simply because I was willing, reluctant at first, to try this thing called P90X in 2010. And now I'm indebted. I'm Beachbody blue, bleeding all the time. This shirt color was by accident, but it's completely changed my life in every area. Believe in yourself, everybody, because it can change yours too.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where's Kristen? I want to say hi and thank you to her too.
You're welcome. She's out. Chris, come down. She's coming. She's upstairs, but she's coming. We'll say hi to her.
It was fun. I didn't want to, you know, cut the time on here because you're an inspiration to a lot of people. So I want to thank you so much. And you know what's so funny is this was the affirmation card for today. Yes. Some things are worth fighting for. And you know what? You fought for your family, you know, family time. And so by doing that, you have created a balance for yourself. So I'm just so grateful that you got on the call today. Is she coming down?
Right here.
Okay. Let's say hi to Kristen.
My 6-star diamond wife coach.
Hi, sweetie. Did he make you cry?
Yes. He's so good.
Anyway, thank you to both of you for a great message, a great reminder to everybody to believe in themselves, and that inviting is really what's going to move their business forward. So thank you.
Thank you guys, and thank you Team Beachbody.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. We will, he said he's going to put that video in the link here, and a lot of people are asking for that video of him doing that 5-step invite process. Great, happy Monday, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.